Brent Key has two new coordinators for the 2026 season, but who will be under the most pressure? Jason Semore or George Godsey?
You are Locked On Georgia Tech, your daily podcast on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Georgia Tech. I'm your host, Jarvis Davis, and I want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. Coming up on today's show, Bobby Cremins finally gets his flowers. And also, I'll give you three guys that you absolutely should have your eye on once spring practice gets going next week. But first, Brent Key brought in two coordinators to replace Blake Gideon and Buster Faulkner, respectively. Now, you know that those two guys decided to move on in their own right, and Brent Key had to replace those guys. Totally understand that. I totally understand that. And you should too as well. I think it's fair to say that George Godsey and Jason Semore will have their fair share of pressure to perform in 2026. That's just the business, right? And because of where Brent Key is in his career, he's going into his fourth year as the full-time head coach of this team. And he has to win some football games. Father Jason Semore and George Godsey, I wholeheartedly believe that Godsey's seat has some coals under it. And that bad boy is hot. Not from he's about to get fired in the middle of the season, you know, because he's just so awful. No, not saying that. I'm saying it is hot because look at who he's going to be compared to for the foreseeable future. He's going to be compared to Buster Faulkner. Buster Faulkner set the tone. When Buster Faulkner was hired, that was a sneaky good hire. When George Godsey was hired, people had questions. And when Buster finally got his opportunity to call plays back in 2023, look at what he did. 31 points a game. 2024, 29 points a game. 2025, 32 points a game. He never ranked below 55th in the country when it came to scoring, when he was a play caller for his team. So when you look at who he is replacing, he's not a guy that got fired. Faulkner, that is. Expectations are a little different when a guy gets fired. And George Godsey is stepping into a situation where people are expecting, they're going to be looking at their watches if you come out this bad boy scoring 20 points a game in the first few games of the season. And we know what that 3-game schedule looks like, right? You got 2 non-con power 4, and then you got Mercer. Prime in Tennessee. You have to get off to a good start. You have to. You're going to be at home. All the eyeballs are going to be on you. And you know people like to watch Tech. They were the second highest viewed team last year, right behind Miami, who went on to the national championship. So people are interested in watching this team. So I wholeheartedly believe that George Godsey is going to immediately be compared to Buster Faulkner because he did a really good job as the OC when he was here. Another reason why I feel like Godsey is going to be under a watchful eye in 2026 in his first year because he doesn't have a good track record of calling plays. The last time he was the full-time play caller was in 2016 with the Houston Texans, and he didn't even finish the season. He got fired by a name that you know, Bill O'Brien. Yeah, he got fired by his boy. He was a co-OC for the Miami Dolphins, so we ain't gonna count that. That's just me. If you want to count, that's fine. I'm not gonna count that. So it's been quite some time since he's been the guy calling plays on his own. So you don't have a good track record of calling plays. The last time you did it, you got let go before the season was even over with. As a matter of fact, it was the beginning of the season. They only a few games in when Bill O'Brien took over the play calling duties for him. So I feel like George Godsey is he walking on coals as soon as the season starts. Versus Jason Semore, you got a guy who has done it, who just came from doing it. He had just gotten a new job at Memphis because he did such a good job at Southern Miss. Huff decided to bring him on as the DC. And then Brent Key snags Jason Semore up and say, come on back home. I need you over here. I need those TFLs that you produce up front. Also, I need those turnovers that you produce from. Because defense did not do that last year. They were at the bottom of the league and turning people over. And we know that has to change. And if Tech wants to be able to compete in this conference. So when you look at these two coordinators and you look at what they're up against, their history, their resumes, and all of that stuff, and you put it all in a little pot, the thing that's going to bubble up is George Godsey's first year calling plays solely in almost 10 years. And he's the guy that replaced him, Buster Faulkner, who was a guy that can put some points on the board. And he was pretty consistent to the point where he was able to go take over another OC gig at an SEC school. So, yeah, the pressure is on George to perform. Because that's the only way. It's the only way Brent Key is going to improve in year 4 as the head coach of this team. Coming up next, I've handpicked 3 guys that you should have your eye on in the spring, and you'll never guess who they are. I want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. College basketball is nonstop. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night, from early tip-offs to late-night West Coast shootouts. There's always action on the board. And now, FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball profit boost. Yes, college basketball parlay profit boost. Forgot that other P. You can build any college hoops parlay you want, rivalry games, ranked matchups, whatever fits your read. You can mix spreads, totals, and player props to match how you see the slate playing out. Then you can apply the profit boost and instantly bump up your potential play out. I'm telling you guys, this is what you want to do. So here's the thing. Go safe. Go bold. Ride with the team you've been following all season. is Sure Parlay your style, now with more upside behind it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. This episode is also brought to you by TurboTax. It's tax time. But for a lot of us, the old way of doing taxes is it's a lot, y'all. Trying to book an appointment that's not the most convenient. Sitting in a wait room with a stack of papers, emailing back and forth and wondering if they really get your situation. Like, I'm trying to get some money back. That's my situation. You need to understand that. But this year, you're getting a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert, and your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. And just like that, you're done. Your TurboTax expert works to get every dollar you deserve, while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. You're in the grocery store doing your thing. Hey, Jarvis, I'm almost finished with your taxes. Absolutely love it. It's the relief of walking in and meeting a real person and walking out knowing your taxes are being handled right. So head to turbotax.com/local. That's turbotax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment. Join the Everyday Club and get Locked On Georgia Tech with no interruptions, members only Discord access, and more. All for just $5 a month or $50 a year. Go to lockedongeorgiatech.supercast.com or check the link in the show notes to learn more. Now, there are plenty of guys who I will have my eye on once spring practice starts next week. We have the Captain Obvious man in Alberto Mendoza. We've had plenty of conversation about him, and we know that a lot of eyeballs are going to be on Alberto. A lot of eyeballs are going to be on Justice Haynes. Obviously, yes, the man is an excellent running back. We want to see it. We want to see him in action. What's all the hype about? Yep, going to have my eyes on him too. Zay Furman, 6'4", 200 pounds. Big play receiver out of the FCS powerhouse that is Elon. Yeah, a lot of people going to be watching him, those guys. I'm going to watch him as well. But I have some guys that I pinpointed that you should have your eyes on as well. First guy, Kentrell Davis. He's number 82 out of Birmingham, Alabama. True freshman. This is a guy who's super productive in high school, right? 34 catches, 619 yards, and 10 touchdowns in his senior year. He's a guy that they lined up all over the field in the slot. He worked a lot out of the slot, actually. And when you think about that slot position and his wide receiver position overall, notice only that called out Zay Furman. And we know Jordan Allen is coming back. He's the only guy that actually caught a pass for this team that's on this roster right now. Only guy that caught a pass last year. That's on the roster right now. Let that sink in. So you know what you have in those guys, right? There's potential in Jordan Allen, Zay Furman, who's super productive. We're going to see if they're going to transfer into the ACC. But when you have a guy like Kentrell Davis, 6'3", 185, to line up in the slot, take advantage of the mismatch, right? George Godsey is throwing different formations at him, lining them up right there. And then there's no real established guy right now at that wide receiver position. That's why I picked a freshman that could potentially step in and get some playing time, because there's not multiple guys who were productive last year on this team. It's kind of wide open. Another guy, now this guy right here in particular, Darnell Collins, freshman, 6'3", 185 as well. Little coincidence, probably, maybe not. He's out of Rome, Georgia. I really like Darnell. Let me tell you why I like Darnell. Darnell is a willing blocker. Darnell used to play safety in high school. Jarvis, why does that matter? Why is the first thing coming out your mouth talking about a guy who's willing to block and he plays wide receiver? You don't need to block. Yes, he does. You know why he needs to block? Because George Godsey is going to run the football a lot. And if you're going to be on the field as a wide receiver, your behind better know how to block. Zay Furman, 6'4", 200. You better be able to put your hands on somebody. Tell you that much. I'm just telling you how you're able to get on the field as a freshman. There's just little things. It's the little things. Not only you have to have talent, but you have to have those little things that other guys aren't willing to do or they weren't asked to do coming out of high school. The one thing that I always find to be fascinating when you're talking about a running back going from the college level to the NFL, coaches want to see if they can block. What's your pass pro look like? Because what can't happen in the NFL is when you have that rookie running back, all-world rookie running back, every time you're on the field, you're running the ball. That's what you call tendencies. If the tendency is your star running back is only on the field when you're running the ball, it's gonna be part of the time. You don't want to put yourself into a situation where you can't pass the ball when your running back is on the field. So I liken that to a guy like Darnell Collins. When he's in the game, the defense coordinator is going to be looking to count how many times they run the ball and how many times they pass the ball. You want it to be even when number 11, the freshman out of Rome, Georgia, is in the game because he can block. He's a willing blocker and he's aggressive. He played on the defense side of the football. That means he's aggressive. That means he's a willing tackler. He's willing to put his shoulder pads on someone. He finishes his blocks as well. That's the really cool thing that I liked about watching him. So not only do you need to keep your eyes on Kentrell Davis, wide receiver. The wide receiver position is open, y'all. There's nobody who's really established themselves as the 1, 2, and 3 guys, right? Kentrell Davis, Darnell Collins. Collins is my favorite. I think he has a real opportunity. But there's one more guy that I want you to keep your eye on. And it wouldn't be me if I didn't go to the defensive line position and find a guy that you need to keep your eye on. Oh, that's Christian Garrett. Ooh. And the reason why I think you should keep your eye on him is because that Gardner Webb film got me excited. That young man showed that he belonged on the football field. Well, Jarvis, it was Gardner Webb. That's mediocre competition. Oh, it was a blowout. Hear me out here. You don't know how a true freshman is going to respond when you give him action in games like that. Because guess what? That mediocre competition that's on the other side, they're going to still be trying. And guess what they would really love to do? Block a guy that plays for a Power 4 school. And if he does well on said Power 4 player, guess where he might go once the season is over? He might hop in the portal and show that tape. Say, hey, that highly touted freshman defensive lineman that Tech had, look what I did to him. I come do the same thing for you, coach. So for him to go in there and be productive, put the quarterback on the ground, and show good use of his hands and really produce when he gets that playing time, I don't care who you're going up against. That's something you have to pay attention to. And they gave him some garbage time reps until they said, all right, Christian, we're going to shut you down and give you a red shirt so we can keep you around for another year. So, yeah, Christian Garrett is a guy you should have your eye on, because I would definitely have my eye on him as well. And, I'm super excited about spring practice, y'all. I know this is glorified scrimmage and, it's structured and everybody trying to get a look and everybody trying to get reps and everything like that. But spring practice is something to get excited about. 1,000%. All right, coming up next, we'll highlight a positive about this Georgia Tech basketball team. This episode of Locked On Georgia Tech is brought to you by Indeed. Workplace chaos, deadline stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill is still sitting open. When the pressure's on, you need the right hire, and this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for. Skills, experience, location. So you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. In the time I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. I'm telling you guys, they are the place to go to. So listener of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show and say you heard them on Locked On Georgia Tech. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Welcome to the 5-Hour Energy Flavor Draft with 18 flavors to choose from, including new options like Confetti Craze, Fruity Rainbow, or Cotton Candy. There's something for everyone. I'm telling you all, the board is set, the flavors are ready, and I've got my number one pick for the 5-Hour Energy Flavor Draft. It is grape. Yes, Concord grape flavor similar to grape juice or candy. I'm talking about classic purple candy style finish. It's so consistent, has a straightforward taste, just so smooth and syrup-like fruit profile. It is just absolutely amazing. And you know something that I'm looking forward to trying? How about that peach mango? Ripe peach flavor on the first sip. That mango adds that tropical depth and sweetness. Smooth, rounded fruit profile, slightly richer mouthfeel than citrus flavors, sweet aromatic finish, a balanced tropical blend. Yeah, y'all see where I'm going here with that, right? So find the new flavor of 5-Hour Energy shots available online and at 5hourenergy.com, or you always know you can go to Amazon. Don't forget to take Locked On Georgia Tech on the road with you wherever you download your podcast. And by the way, I just want to say thank you to all the people who listen to Locked On Georgia Tech and the Locked On Network as a whole. Because of you guys, we are now the number one sports podcast network. And, guys, I've been thinking a lot lately. And, when you're talking about a basketball team that's been on an 11-game losing streak, Damon Stoudamire just sounds depressed after games lately. And, we did a whole episode on what did Damon say? and it just wasn't good. I think Damon Stoudamire understands what time it is. And I'm not talking about 12 o'clock. He knows what's probably about to happen. So with all that down conversations that we've been having as of late, I want to brighten things up a little bit. I want to send a big congratulations to head coach Bobby Cremins on receiving the NABC International Lifetime Achievement Award. They will be presenting Coach Cremins with this award at the upcoming NABC convention in Indianapolis, April 2nd to April 6th. Now, we know. Y'all know the resume. You know what time it is. He reached the NCAA tournament 10 times. Oh, seems like such a long time ago. Reached the Final Four in 1990. Won 3 ACC titles. And he won Naismith National Coach of the Year in that season, 1990. And we all know the players that he had. Mark Price, John Sally, Dwayne Farrell, Tom Hammonds, Dennis Scott, Brian Oliver, Kenny, Mr. Chibbs, Anderson, John Barry, Travis Best, Stephon Marbury, Jason Collier, and Matt Harper. Just really good times. Really good times at Tech when he was the head coach. And when I was going through the coaches and kind of like what the coaches who've been head coach for the basketball team through over the years, you know, Paul Hewitt, looking at obviously Bobby Cremins and Josh Pastner and all of those guys, right? Brian Gregory, all those people. And I go back to before Bobby Cremins was hired. He replaced one of the worst coaches that was hired to be the head coach of Georgia Tech basketball, Dwayne Morrison. Homer Rice said, "This is unacceptable." And he brought in Bobby Cremins, convinced him to come down to Atlanta. And Damon Stoudamire said himself, yep, he said it. Here's a quote from the most recent loss. "I haven't experienced this before. It makes you understand now. This is what it really looks like, because this is the bottom. And I'm sure before the decision was made to fire Dwayne Morrison, athletic director Homer Rice said the same exact thing. Now, I feel like it's Ryan Alpert's time to say, you know what? This is unacceptable. We're better than this. We got a coach who's being acknowledged as one of the best basketball coaches of all time. You know who else is getting acknowledged as well at this same awards ceremony? Coach K. I know what it is. I know what I'm talking about. So he's in the same room with guys like that. So don't get down and say, oh, they're going to hire somebody that's better. And you know why I'm confident in that? Because it's been done before. There's a precedent at this school that has been set. So, yeah, it can be done. It can be done. But congratulations to Coach Cremins, the best coach to ever step on that hardwood floor on the flats. Absolutely. Hands down. There's no question. Doesn't that feel good to say? Man, that feels good to say. I want to say thank you guys for riding with us, ride with me on Locked On Georgia Tech. And if you haven't done so, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, or you can follow the show wherever you download your podcast. And if you never miss an episode, the Everyday Club is built for you. Get Locked On Georgia Tech ad-free, plus members on Discord access and more. Head to lockedongeorgiatech.supercast.com to join the club. For those of you who are on video, I send you over to the first 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen Locked On College Basketball with Isaac Shade and my main man, Andy Patton. They got you covered because y'all know what time it is. It's tournament time. You know, Tech not in it, but if you want to watch it because you're a big fan, check out Locked On College Basketball. The boys got you covered. It is all part of the Locked On Podcast Network. And, you know, we're back on Monday. Najee Wilkins will be with me. We're going to be talking all things spring practice. And this show and all the shows that I just mentioned are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every